Good morning, thriving warriors and those who wish they were. Alexa, what is the date?
It's Tuesday, October 4th.
Great. And Alexa, what time is it? Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6:05 a.m. Have a good morning, Edward.
Thank you. And Alexa, what is the weather forecast for today?
Right now in Amargos Valley, it's 60 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies. Today's forecast has lots of sun, with a high of 91 degrees and a low of 55 degrees.
Okay, still in the 90s. Great. All right, so here we are at Career Services, where our goal is to help you get from point A to point B, where B is better. So you're at point A, we want to help you get to point B, and we do that several ways. One is this podcast, this 10-minute-ish, like sort of, a bunch of moss in here today, 10-minute-ish sort of, but not really podcast. Another is in the details description down below. Please subscribe and hit the bell, where we have a link to our 4-week basic training course. Additionally, we have a link to the motivational video that I listen to use to put this thing together, and the TED Talk that goes along with our 4-week basic training course. We also have a whole bunch of links and information, phone numbers. Good morning, Jeff. Phone numbers, etc., for services that we provide, which include housing, clothing, food, hygiene, skills training, foundational employment, and career planning. And we find, and also there is a blog post from Seth Godin, who's somebody that's very important to us here, has been for the last 10 years. Good morning, Greg. So Greg and Jeff are here. I'll say good morning. I wonder where Jeannie is. Where is Charlene? Where is other people who refuse to, who say they don't want their names mentioned? Because who knows, they're high-level people and they just don't want their names associated or mentioned. And let's see, Diana. Okay. Let's see, what else? Oh, Seth Godin. And what I encourage you to do is please don't just watch this little video. Click on the links down below, because that's where the important stuff comes in. This is just kind of the stem winding part. Each podcast has a simple breadcrumb. Bleep, bleep, bleep. These are little breadcrumbs that are easy to follow, and it starts with it's simple. The it means getting from point A to point B. It's simple to get from point A to point B. Doesn't mean it's easy. It's just simple to get from point A to point B. So we start off each day. The title is It's Simple, ... And today, the message is it's simple. Be prepared to do what you hate in order to get to your dream. Be prepared to get to what you hate. And in the video, there's a really good talk about that, an example about that. Somebody that wanted to be a drummer, professional drummer, and he changed his life to revolve around going to drumming auditions, and he had to take jobs that he hated, but it was the only way, like being a cab driver or working at McDonald's, had to do things like that, cheers, in order to pursue his dream. But he hated being a cab driver, he hated the idea of working at McDonald's, but he did it. And the message was, other people would not do that. I would never work at McDonald's. Well, so they gave up their dream rather than work at McDonald's. So the simple message today is, or the message today is, it's simple. Be prepared to do what you hate to do in order to pursue your dream. Okay, another thought. Birds of a feather flock together. The people you hang out with are going to definitely change you. And it's even on an unconscious level. The way they speak, the way they act, the way they talk, the way they think is going to influence you. So if you hang around losers, you're going to become a loser. You hang around drug addicts, you're going to use drugs. The people you associate with, if you spend your time during the day with your earbuds plugged in, just listening to music, just with yourself, that's what you're going to remain or become. That would be under the next one, the next little beep breadcrumb. If you want to keep getting what you are getting, keep doing what you're doing. So if you listen to, if your life isn't going anywhere, you're still stuck here, you're just moving along day after day on the treadmill, on the rat wheel of life, you're a sheeple, just following, going along, earbuds in, listening to music, which is basically just hypnotizing you into the negativity of today rather than listening to people who can mentor you. You know, like Jordan Peterson. Well, there's a million, like Jocko, like Mark Devine, like, well, there's a million people that are out there that if you listen to this stuff, it will change you. Birds of a feather flock together. Hang out with losers. Don't be surprised if you never accomplish anything or never become anything. Okay, so that's that. Let's talk about our TED Talks. Yesterday was Nancy Kane, very important. So this week is called Leadership. This is week number 4 in our 4-week course. Next week is going to be week number 1. Week number 4 is about leadership. Leadership is a spectrum like anything else. It's not, it goes from bad to good. And good leadership is a skill. Bad leadership is something that you just kind of do if you haven't been trained. So this week is leadership, or if we follow our car analogy, this is the week where we don't crash the car. So week number 1 is introduction to success, the concept of Successville. There is a place called Successville. And to get there, there's certain things you have to do. You have to have a vehicle, you have to have people helping you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's week number 1 is introduction and orientation. Week number 2 is about teaching you how the car works and how to drive the car. So in a neuroscience approach to success, we start with how does the brain work? The idea being if you know how the brain actually works, you can dial in who you need to be right now. So you don't have to have things like the law of attraction or AA's 12 steps. If you go down to what's actually happening in your brain during the law of attraction or the 12 steps, AA's 12 steps, if you look at what's going on in your brain, it's like, wow, it's just releasing certain neurotransmitters. So if you understand that, and a few other things, then you have the ability to dial in. So that's learning how to drive a car. How does the car work? And then learning to drive the car rather than just learning to drive the car. Because if you only know how to drive a car and something goes wrong, you're not prepared. If you know how a car works and something goes wrong, you are at least better prepared, if not prepared. Week number 3 is now you got to get people in your car. You got to get people to see your dream, to want to go to Successville with you and help you. That was successful. Help you get to Successville. That's week number 3. Week number 4 is now that you have people in your car headed to Successville, you need to not crash the car. And you also don't want people getting out of the car because you're not going to make it without other people. Okay, so this is week 4. Yesterday was Nancy Kane. And on our spectrum of leadership, Nancy Kane was on crisis leadership. Crisis leadership. So went into the spectrum of leadership is crisis leadership. What do you do in extreme periods of VUCA, turbulence, etc., in crisis? And she lays it out better than anyone else has ever laid it out. And she did that many years ago, and she predicted many years ago that there was a window of 8 to 10 years that we had to navigate into the first century, meaning America. And she predicted a lot of stuff. So that's well worth watching and reading her books. And we'll give you a book if you want one. Today, the opposite end of the spectrum, pure leadership. So that was crisis leadership. Today is pure leadership. And our focus is stoicism. Stoicism passes the categorical imperative test. What's that? I don't know. We're not going to talk about it today. Well, actually, I do know, but we're not going to talk about the categorical imperative today. But Stoicism does pass the categorical imperative test. And there's a few key things. Premise number 1, there are things I can control and things I cannot control. I don't let the things I can't control bother me because I can't control them. So why get upset about things you can't control? Either accept it or fix it. Accept it or change it. Don't get upset about things you can't control. And most of the things that go around us, we can't control. We can only control ourselves, our emotions, etc. That's premise number 1. Premise number 2 is moral virtue is enough. Moral virtue is enough. All you need to do is do the right thing at the right time, in the right way, for the right reason. That's all you have to do. Those 4 things. Moral virtue is enough. And in terms of the categorical imperative test, if everybody acted with moral virtue, would the world be a better place? Yes, it would be. Okay, so that's TED Talks, our breadcrumbs, bleep, 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 TED Talks. Now we're going to talk about what Seth Godin has to say and see how we can apply that to becoming successful, helping us get from point A to point B. Front of house, back of house. What do the dishwashers eat for lunch? What's the new user experience of accounts payable for the big tech company? What's the user experience of accounts payable for the big high-tech company? How does the head of sales treat the receptionist? If it's good enough for your customers, it should be good enough for your team, your vendors, and your friends, and vice versa. So if it's good enough for your team, your vendors, and your friends, it should be good enough for your customers. The key is this. In many organizations, customers have a choice and customers have a voice, implying your team, vendors, and friends don't. Okay? Treating everyone as if they have that sort of power makes it far more likely you're earning trust and respect, not cutting corners. Okay? So if we go back, what do the dishwashers eat for lunch? Well, if they eat the same thing as the customers, good. Otherwise, you're cutting corners. What's the user experience of accounts payable for the big tech company? I don't know. I'm not really sure. How does the kind of head of sales treat the receptionist? Meaning, does the head of sales treat the receptionist differently than he treats his team or customers? So the point for everyone, the breadcrumb bleep from Seth Godin, I think, would be treat the people around you the same as your customers. Don't cut corners. Okay, thank you, Seth Godin. Back to our thing. We're at 1438. And let's see. Oh, it's over there. Navy SEAL Maxim, which is what? Yesterday was the only easy day. Push yourself just a little bit harder today. And how do we do that? We do that 4 ways. 1, become comfortable being uncomfortable. 2, don't compare yourself to others. 3, have a goal. 4, be more samurai. So let's break them down. How do I act such that yesterday was the only easy day? Number 1, get comfortable being uncomfortable. How do I do that? Well, one way to do it is embrace the suck. It's uncomfortable, embrace it. The seat is not comfortable for you, embrace it. Don't automatically, unconsciously just decide to get in the car. Boom, I'm going to adjust the seat. Boom, I'm going to change the air conditioning. Get comfortable being uncomfortable by embracing the suck. This sucks. God, how lucky am I that I get to be in a situation where it sucks? Just imagine other people who are paralyzed, who are in countries where they have nothing, they're starving to death, etc. They would love to have sitting in an uncomfortable seat going someplace. Choose the hard path. So another way is to choose the hard path, which is to have humility, to work hard, not to try to make it easy. Humility, work hard, take ownership, take responsibility, have discipline, keep doing it every day, even when you don't feel like it, and sacrifice, especially sacrifice your time for other people, and accept the struggle. Accept it. So that's one way to get comfortable. Those are 4 ways to get comfortable being uncomfortable. 2, don't compare yourself to other people. That doesn't mean, Kim Kardashian does this. I'm not going to compare myself to Kim Kardashian because I'm unique. I'm me. I'm me. I'm a unique person. No, it doesn't mean that at all. It means don't say, I work too. I'm a hard worker too. She did this, but I did that. Okay. Compare yourself to yourself yesterday. What did you do yesterday? Well, I sort of cleaned the bathrooms. I got most of the cobwebs out, and I cleaned a little bit of the mirror. Okay, cool. Now compare yourself today to that for yesterday. Did you do anything else? Oops. Okay, so that's what that means about comparing yourself to other people. Don't say, I worked hard today because I worked harder than you. I worked harder today than I did yesterday. Next, have a goal. So this goes to if you don't know where you're going, any path will take you there. Have a goal. Have a goal. The goal will pull you towards it, according to Jordan Peterson. And be more samurai. Being more samurai means trying to do things perfectly, given the time and resources you have. It doesn't count if you say, well, I couldn't do a good job cleaning the bathrooms because I didn't have the proper tools. Okay, being more samurai would be, I did the best job I could given the time and the tools, the resources I had. And that's it. So with that, this is kind of a long one today, but please write the stuff down. Watch the other videos. Click in the links below. Don't listen to music during the day. Listen to things that are going to make you better. And with that, we're at 19 minutes, but I'm just going to throw this one in. There's 3 stages of life: learning, earning, and yearning. Let's see. Learning, earning, and yearning. Nope, I'm going to cut.